Venno, it's this meta. I mean, the Venno is very strong right now with the right facets, so it's
Radiant team.
I think this is the one time Cuckoo can take Venomancer, and I won't make fun of it.
I will say, you say it's strong right now. It has a 43% win rate in above 7,000 MMR pubs, 8,000 MMR pubs above. That's a 43% win rate. So it feels strong, as we saw in the Blacklist series for John Uel. It feels strong for sure. The Noxious Plague is nice, but it's still fundamentally Venomancer. Do you want your support to do nothing but damage? In most cases, it doesn't feel like that's what you really want from a support.
I don't think it does. Like the wards though, like the vision game, it's still very good.
Yeah, but it didn't do anything for Blacklist, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that was Zhao's fault. If you want, I can point fingers, but I do not think that was the Venomancer. And John, I love shitting on this hero. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't think the Venom's it was the Venom's fault they lost that game. That's fair. I just feel like you might look for more impact elsewhere. We'll see. Cuckoo feels the same way. You open up with a Batrider first, so you get that nice support going for themselves here. For Jing, more than likely, we've seen the effect of the Batrider. Lines up nicely for a Centaur pickup if Aurora don't pick it up first, which, it's not very frequent. We get the jabs first pick off lane. It tends to be other heroes. He's prioritized
10 seconds remaining.
Until the end. He tends to get last pick, if not in the second phase. So I'm wondering if they want to just steal away the Centaur now, as it feels like a very dangerous combo to allow through. Just Batrider Centaur just does so much in lane. It's very oppressive, and Centaur itself just gets really, really tanky. Doesn't need boots. Saves him the 400 gold to get that build up into other items. It just feels a little bit too much. That and the added move speed, of course, from horsepower, max cap of 600 instead of 550 is pretty massive. So I wouldn't mind if Aurora just pick it up here. They'll go to DK instead, which we have seen first phase banned. And this is really interesting. DK is probably the most flexible with facets there is among all the heroes. He does a lot of different things depending on which one you pick. You can have cleave in your melee form. You can have some slow.
10 seconds
it's an interesting one, and it's very flex. I like it for Aurora. The fact that it wasn't banned is pretty interesting.
5 seconds remaining.
The fact that Aurora even banned out Marcy as well is fairly interesting, as I believe, again, in pubs and high immortal pubs, the win rate of Marcy has been around 45, if I'm recalling right. Not the highest in the world. But that change to sidekick into bodyguard is pretty interesting conceptually, so I don't mind that being banned out by Aurora. Perhaps, again, testing it out in scrims against TNC is also a possibility there.
I wonder, like, going back to the Dragon Knight pick, I wonder what facet you want with this hero.
10 seconds remaining.
They all seem fine, right?
Yeah.
5
it's
seconds
really interesting.
remaining.
It's hard to say which one's the best. I feel like there's a lot of utility coming out from each. I feel like if you are going for a heavier farm core, the Fire Dragon facet is probably the best. You get some cleave, you get to just farm up, you have additional splash damage bonus. It's relatively straightforward to get your timing in lane. You get some free harassment in a melee versus melee matchup as well. So it's relatively open for you if you do go for the Fire Dragon facet. But again, it's open. Like there's a lot of ways you can go with the DK. And that's probably the most interesting hero to pick
10
in
seconds
this
remaining.
new patch with facets. I think DK's matchups change drastically depending on
5
what facet.
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Here comes the Phoenix.
Oh god. That one has been winning a lot of games. Phoenix, especially with how his facets work. I do believe overall the Sunray facet's been a little bit more popular, but the winning facet seems to be the damage facet, the Dying Light
10
facet.
seconds
6% of
remaining.
his missing HP is magic damage to everyone in a 450 radius
5
is
seconds
kind of
remaining.
nuts. Especially if you, I believe you Supernova with low HP. I do believe, again, the way Supernova works, it hides your hero at its current HP in the egg. And, Radiance goes true still because the hero is still technically there. Theoretically, Dying Light should work in that AoE as well.
Dire team pick.
It's all very complicated, as now we have the sniper pickups. That's a nice little counter towards the Phoenix, and in fact we have another one. Snapfire will make its appearance as well. Is Sniper still strong in this new patch, do you think, John? I haven't been seeing much of it.
I don't think the hero got weaker, but its facets definitely
10
aren't
seconds
interesting.
remaining.
It's Not particularly amazing. The ghillie suit is
5 seconds remaining.
kind of interesting, but it only works when you activate take aim.
Radiant
so
team
if your
pick.
take aim's down, you don't really get much. It's a 3-second window. 4 seconds if you take your talent. It can be impactful. Maybe scatter shot's a little bit better. Duration decrease, but that's fine. Most people run out anyway. The higher damage is pretty big.
Oh, hello.
So I think that's the way to go. Do get the Weaver and Spirit Breaker coming out from Aurora. Not the best hold to, just drag these heroes down. The Spirit Breaker is rather interesting. I know its popularity has increased as well. I do believe its win rate has been positive.
Remaining.
Its AGs has been buggy, but I can't confidently say all the bugs have been fixed with our sub patch, so I'm not 100% because Planar Pocket, remember when Planar Pocket first launched as a shard and how busted in a bad way it was for your team?
Yeah.
It kind of did that again on the AGs. It would proc everything on you multiple times, so it would just kind of beef yourself. His facets are interesting though. I feel like Bull Rush has been a little bit more popular than Imbalanced, but
I mean,
both of them have some interesting sort of...
I don't understand imbalance. Like, what is the point of imbalance?
I think the one use case I can think of is, like, if your Spirit Breaker's charging in and you don't have clean follow-through, he can Nether Strike and you can Force Staff the guy even further away.
Sure.
Like, that's one thing. Because it will affect move spells or move modifiers onto the hero. So that's a one use case I could really think of. Beyond that, it's kind of strange. I guess for Spirit Breaker, bashing around is funnier. Maybe if you have a Bloodseeker, it could be good, but you're not getting that here, I don't think.
I don't think so. Weaver as well, it feels very potent right now. I've had a bit of experience with support. Jonathan feels very, very good at the moment. I do appreciate it quite a bit. Kind of nice having your Germinated attack just available straight off the bat.
Yeah.
It's pretty busted when you're playing support Weaver, I've got to say. Like, you really can't lose the harass trade, and then if you go for the whole swarm gives you XP, it just seems even more stupid.
Yeah. Just scales up like an insane madman. I do have to say the Shikuchi move slow is so annoying, even though it's like 0.3 seconds. It throws you off, especially when you're laning, even against like a core Weaver. It's just mildly annoying. And so I like that Aurora is going all in on the annoyance. With her draft, TNC for their part into the Naga Siren. Not something we see too much. It was popping out in the last meta a little bit. Every now and again would be banned out as well. I will say Deluge is weird because you have to activate it. It's not an on-hit activate like Riptide is. So I don't know if you even want Deluge. Stat resistant reduction is big, but for a core Naga, you're probably still looking for Riptide, which is the way I'm assuming TNC will go their draft. Let's see as it develops. Do ban out some offlanes from Aurora's end. Centaur Slardar. TNC as well banning out the Sven and the Darkseer with a flex in mind here for Aurora's draft with the DK. So keeping it rather open, the DK and the Spirit Breaker, even a Weaver can be flexed a bit. They're going to have to show their hand first on TNC. Mind you, no option for the Cuckoomancer anymore. Mike with Snapfire Batrider as well. Forgot to point that out earlier, so no such shenanigans here.
There's always space for the Cuckoomancer, Jonathan.
No, there's no always space in this draft. Don't say that. For the TNC fans, they will get flashbacks to when Fnatic or when TNC would actually last pick that. So
I was there.
Some memories there. Oh, we were there. We were there.
Good old times. Good old days.
Not the best moments. T1 fans as well.
I'm glad to see TNC's back. Shout out to the boys from TNC. We're happy to see you guys back, of course. Hopefully you guys aren't planning to go anywhere if things don't go too well here for the close qualifiers. We'll wait and see, John. If they do go for the Primal Beast last pick.
I like that. It's a Cox special. Played it a lot in mid. Of course, he's playing off lane now. Should have the Yoa Sniper coming in. And the Palos Naga Siren. It's stitched together. You have some pretty good teamfight potential. Pulverize into kisses for kills. You've got the lasso back to drag one from away. Primal Beast can make the lane rather annoying as well. Keen to see if they get the move speed facet instead of the area of effect facet that we saw from Abed last time. What the priority there is for Cox. Aurora for the last pick. Again, we're probably eyeing a Jabs hero, but it's open enough that you could kind of look for a lore in mid instead, or Savage safe if you're flexing the Weaver. Like, there are a lot of directions you can go here for Aurora. I don't think their draft is lacking anything. Maybe hold for Egg is kind of missing, but when you're up against Snapfire and Sniper, it doesn't feel like the Egg's going to be the most well-protected spell anyhow. No matter what you pick, I don't think... Yeah, you don't have the Mars option as well to protect. You banned out Faces Void yourself. Feels like they're going to have to just surrender a wider team fight focused around Egg, just because there's just so much counterplay from TNC. So probably just gun for something that can deal with Naga lane. LC, is it? No, it's been banned out by TNC to protect. Makes sense. Go the Underlord. Okay, here we go. Necronomicon's back, Mike. Isn't that great?
It's such a
Isn't it great? Change. Oh, it's stupid. Why is Necronomicon stupid?
John, they're not as strong as they were. Like, I can't believe that's the change they made. They added Necronomicon units to the stupid Dark Portal, Dark Rift, whatever it's called. And then on top of that, they gave them like 1/3 of the stats for whatever reason. Well, why even add them? Why add them back?
Or the fun of it, Mike. Because it's what you were asking for. Can't believe. There you go. Jabs takes the Abyssal Horde.
You know, it'd be fun.
He has it.
If they gave me a facet that allowed Boulder Smash to stun again, that would be fun. You know,
no, it's asking for too much, Mike.
These Earth Spirit facets are so stupid. Like, what is
rocks? Rocks. You get rocks. You can eat your rocks. They don't go
like,
away.
LC can like press Q and suddenly just be unkillable.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't stun people with a rock. Apparently.
No, you can eat your rocks, and they stay there.
It's basically all you do as Earth Spirit is eat rocks, John. That's all you do. It sucks.
Oh, that's all you need. What do you mean? Oh, you complain about Earth Spirit not getting changes. You complain about Underlord having the nerfed Necronomicon.
Well, I just don't understand. Happy, well, why they give why remove 1/3 of the stats? For what reason?
Because it's free Necronomicon at 6. If it had full stats, it would be kind of messed up.
Yeah, but they're just garbage though, John. It's like 2 creeps spawning with you.
It's 2 creeps every second, is it not? Am I misremembering? It spawns a lot.
You have to go through the portal.
Oh, after traveling through the gate. Yeah.
Right? It's pretty stupid. Am I wrong?
No, it spawns every 2 seconds on the passive effect.
That's not what happened in my demo game, John. Right? I demoed this. Did not work.
Should spawn too. See, after teleporting through the Fiend's Gate, Underlord brings forth a warrior or an archer to aid him every 2 seconds. That lasts for the duration of Fiend's Gate.
After traveling through the Fiend's Gate.
Yeah, once he travels through them. But you get them, they should be spawning every 2 seconds.
They weren't for me.
Skill it.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it now. We'll see what happens. I just can't believe that they gave Earth Spirit like the worst facets in the game. I just can't believe. I mean, I can believe it because I called it out before it happened.
Ah, we've gotten a correction from our good old observer Scriff here, saying you have to be around the gate for it to keep spawning.
Oh, is that what it is? You have to be around.
1 warrior per unit, spawning every 2 seconds.
To battle.
So,
but you have to stand by the gate.
A creep wave is like 5 units. Okay, Mike, are you 5 units spawning in if you use your Fiend's Gate by a creep wave? You happy now?
Is that how it works?
You want full? Yeah, I guess you just didn't use it right. See, skillage.
I just want
it's weird. No, the tooltip is pretty bad. The tooltip's pretty bad. Let's reframe.
Top side. Might go into a bit of a fight. Cuckoo and Palos are here, ready to go whenever.
The battle begins.
They can out-click each other here. Palos and Q. That's going to go the way of Q. In fact, Q's going to go for the third one on top of that. Cuckoo's still very busy just chasing down Jabs, but we'll lose a banner on top. Jabs is taking a lot of harassment to be absolutely fair, though, so Cuckoo removing half his HP pool, but now the charge is going to come in from Q. Generally speaking, you usually don't prefer to go level 1 Charge of Darkness, but rather the Bash. I suppose it doesn't really matter in this kind of lane anyway. Against the Batrider, you're probably not going to get too many opportunities to actually get the Bash off.
No, you're certainly not. You're not going to be able to run up there all too frequently. Still taking a look at the mid lane before we spread out into the side lanes. You've got the classical DK versus sniper lane. We do have the ghillie suit up for Yoa, which means we're not getting anything exciting with the shrapnel. So it's probably one of the most boring facets there is on the sniper. And again, DK has the most exciting one. You've got the corrosive dragon. You have the poison coming out. Splashes in Elder Dragon form, affects corrosive breath, so you do a lot of poke damage onto Yoa. This kind of shifts that dynamic of the lane, you know, normally no one dies up against a DK. In this case, there is some potential to out-poke Yoa early on without the take aim. It's not going to be the comfiest of times for a sniper.
It absolutely is not. For that top lane, Cuckoo trying to pull a wave, or it looks like Jabs was probably trying to pull it away. Cuckoo going to be unable to contest here as Q will just force him out as the Spirit Breaker. Of course, in the meantime, Palos is completely freely farming on the Naga Siren, which is to be expected. Cuckoo giving him all the space in the world.
Courier has been killed.
Does lose his courier to Q, but not the biggest deal in the world. Of course, down at bottom lane, you're going to have Jing and Cox against Ollie and 23 Savage. Should be a lane you'd imagine the Weaver should be just fine in. Highly doubt we see any kills coming out here. The Savage, though, I suppose you never really know.
Should be a stable lane. It's rather interesting. Jing does go for the full bore, so he has that longer reach on the blast, which means later on it's kind of funny. You can play safer to clear out a creep wave as well, farm up a little bit safer. The narrow range is very narrow though, so it can be a little bit annoying to land, but safe harassment on the tree and on Ollie is all you kind of need. And Cox just trying to soak up what he can. Is a little bit uncomfy. They already have the sentries down at the least, and you can see the effect of that scatter blast with full bore. It does allow you to poke on Savage when he does try to scurry away at the very least.
I like it. Jing's gonna have to get his way out of there, just salve up. Savage is doing a bit too much damage on this Weaver. Of course, Savage did go for the skitter step facet. Obviously doesn't care for the whole Hive Mind facet when you're playing Pos 1 Weaver. Top lane, a bit of a chase happening here from Cuckoo and, of course, Palos, but they are forced to back away again. Jabs looking for perhaps a fight. They'll get the bash on the Palos. Jabs wants to try and move on to Cuckoo, but thinks better of it. Will just protect the Lotus Pool for Q to be able to pick up. TNC, I mean, the safe lane of TNC slowly not being as dominant as it once was. It does start to feel like Jabs and Q can start to take over in the grand part.
This Underlord is a hero that I was expecting a little bit more in the last patch, honestly. The atrophy just feels atrocious to play into again. Like, it's so much minus damage, especially later on once you get your talents up. At level 20, the plus 10 reduction is huge. It's like 40% damage reduction in an area. It's like Wraith Pack is there. At least, you know, you don't stack that with Wraith Pack, you know? But you were asking for Wraith Pack to be put back, Mike. So
no,
Underlord Wraith Pack. Oh, no, you said they're going to do it. You want? They're going to do it.
They probably do that before they you know, give Earth Spirit buffs. So I can make that prediction confidently, John.
Tier 5 neutral, Wraith Pact. That would actually be way too strong as a Tier 5.
No, that's what they'll do, John. They'll give us a Tier 5 upgrade for Earth Spirit. Like, he'll get his own item that he can only select one of one from. And he'll get like, they'll give him double the rocks or something. It'll be like, you know, huge bowl. He'll get 10 more bowls. Congratulations, Palos. He'll get charged. Q's going to find himself in a bit of danger though, as QQ will knock him back with the flame break, and Q might just be dead. Blood Grenade will land, and Q is gone. Very nice setup here from QQ on the Bat Rider. And Palos will let them know about it immediately.
And there's not much you can really do in this lane in terms of aggression to the side of Aurora. You have really slow chip damage, you're kind of reliant on getting some lucky dashes. That doesn't come in, your kill opportunity doesn't really show itself. I think looking at mid again, Lorinov is doing a great job of just managing mid lane with Breed Fire. He knows that he can afford to just leave Worm's Wrath a little bit lower. Just because, well, doesn't need that much protection up against our pesky sniper. And so, he is just building up. Again, this is a little bit slower for Yoa.
Nice rotation here for Q. I mean, they'll try to save with the cookie. Cox still going down to the swarm, but looks like he's going to be okay. Survives on about 60 HP thanks to the backup of Jing. Q looks like he'll still have a gander around to see if he can find the primal of the triangle, but not going to find anyone. It is kind of the nice thing about Pulse 4 Spirit Breaker, though. You are able to just start roaming the map at the level 2, level 3 mark. He could even think about going after Yoe with a charge, but decides better off for now just getting some wards down. Yoe's going to find him eventually. Looks like Q's just going to stick around here to secure the 6-minute power.
And they've got the Elder Dragon form to play with on Lorinov, and it's the Corrosive Dragon, so you have some good amount of damage coming in if you can get an auto attack onto Yoe. See if they get lucky with the runes. Yoe would want to deny that away while the Dragon form is up, and does get lucky. Grabs himself an Invis, can bail out. Really good early ward being dropped here by Q. Is looking top.
Yeah, they are on to Jabs. Jabs already taking a lot of damage on his way out, but Palos. Palos the one in danger. You've got the rotations out from Ollie, but a nice scatter blast from Jing. Gonna take down Jabs. Now they'll go on to Ollie here on the Phoenix, who's already used his Icarus dive, so he's no way out himself. And Aurora, they'll lose 2 on the offlane. TNC able to punish once again.
Some good early aggression coming out from TNC already. 0-3. Doesn't really line up in terms of net worth lead. All the lanes in terms of forest farming is a little bit better for Aurora here overall, especially Lorinov, who's been dipping into the jungle very effectively with that Poison Dragon, or the Corrosive Dragon. And it's doing a great job of just building up. They are keeping that aggression tied in top. Jing doesn't have the mana to play with them, so it's going to be a little bit harder. Savage gets up.
Swarm will be out. No real great ways of getting out of this unless you get the cookie, and he does. Chase is on from Savage. To deny though, Jing's got it. Very, very nice from Jing.
Top tower is under attack.
I mean, even Q could have bashed him to the high ground. Decided not to, of course, but Jing just denying everything away is now TNC. They'll let 23 Savage TP out. There's no way to cancel that one here from their end. So 0-3 already with TNC front. Not really much pressure being applied whatsoever here to the Dire side.
Yeah, they're in a good position to just keep building up off this Naga. Again, the initial farm for Aurora is lining up. Savage, despite heading up top, is still up there in net worth. You've got Lorinov at number 1, given all the free space on mid. Just play with his Corrosive Dragon, get his blink timing going. Hasn't been able to really poke onto the mid-tier 1, which is to be expected against a sniper. But is getting, again, that steady ramp up that you want to see on your DK. They get rune control as well with a haste. So they could consider doing a little bit more now. Again, they've got this backline vision on that mid-tier 1. So they could try to punish Yoe if he does inch closer for a defense play.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Grouping up, like Lorinov is still getting a lot of damage off from that tier 1 mid tower. So TNC, all they can do is really just watch Lorinov do this for now. Actually, they will be able to force them back, just showing the numbers. Now, Lorinov's actually picking out bottom. It seems as though they want to try for Cox. Still a fairly quiet game thus far. Almost 9 minutes in, we've had 3 kills here, and they're all on the side of TNC.
There's too many darn wizards! Don't you sass me.
Aurora, again, is farming. Like, Jabs is still tied in with Palos' farm. Yoe and Cox are a little bit more behind. They've got level 6 ready on Jabs, so we could see those summons come out. Again, if you use it properly in the creep wave, it does work as intended. With it getting summons per unit around the portal, then you could end up with a huge army for an early push with a DK. I'm intrigued by that possibility. I want to see it. I want to see it work properly here, Mike.
So do I, John. So do I. See when Jabs feels like it, though. For now, he hasn't even skilled up the Fiend's Gate. Just holds onto the skill point in case he needs it. Mid lane, Jing gonna go for a cookie onto Q. Q now just looking for a charge out. We'll be able to get away. Let's charge back towards the creep wave. And now they'll try for the Phoenix, but Ollie is also just fine. Nice little escape from both the sides, both the supports here from Aurora. I might add as well, while we have a second here, John, like, theoretically Aurora should always be better on levels, considering they have the herd mentality of Q. But that is a very nice little trait to have here, innate ability for the Spirit Breaker.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, it is. Just allows some easy EXP for Ollie, right? And Phoenix probably the best here to benefit off of that. Very EXP hungry support, so you're always going to be within striking distance of your own Phase 4, which is really good to see. So it does help out a lot, at least in terms of trying to play around that. I think your big issue for TNC is, again, all of this aggression hasn't really slowed down the course. Savage still farming, Lorinov still farming, AFK farm for Jabs. your build-up on Palos is... It's quick. It's not bad by any means, but it does take time for Naga to really hit its stride. And the cores that should play are still lagging behind a fair bit, especially Cox, which is to be expected. You've seen Primal Beast go off in slower lanes. All he needs is like 2-3 items to be up. Very cheap items. Blade Mail and Infernal Shroud tend to be the ones that start it up. Once that's ready in Cox, he should be more confident, but again, it takes time. This is time where Savage is just playing the lane perfectly. And then you've got Lornoff in the jungle. You don't have the same efficiency right now on the side of TNC. They've got some stacks for Yoe. He's trying to clear out, but it's not the quickest process, mind you, for a sniper to do this without any attack speed buff.
It's a bit of a slow time, but Yoe's going to get it done eventually. There's going to be a smoke mid lane. Dragon Form has been popped. They're looking towards G. Start out with the Blinken. Lorinov, he's going to try and buy himself a little bit of time, but of course Lorinov will have the damage output to take down the Snapfire. They don't have a creep wave, sadly, so they aren't really going to be able to get too much damage off that mid-tier 1 tower, but still a nice pick-off, and eventually Lorinov will be able to start getting that damage. So it's really not too big of a deal that they're missing out on the creep wave. It's now Cuckoo. They're charged by Q. They've got Savage to move in as well, and they've got Cuckoo's life no problem. As now Yoe, the Dark Rift right behind. Here come the boys.
Oh, look at the units. You got 3 of them.
Yoe. Oh, and he's still running. The sniper is still making it out for now, but not for long as he does drop. They'll even find Cox, but it'll be at the cost of Lorinov. It's now Palos. I'm not sure if he actually wants to be here. 23 Savage just keeps moving in for more, looking for that damage output, but he's got to be careful. Oh, Scatter Blast. How did that not land?
It's so narrow. It's just so narrow. It's so long, but the narrowness really kills you in chasing. Good attempt. Trading Lorinov, probably not the best bet, but you do find 2 cores for the exchange. And again, it does seem like this thing, if you do drop it by the creep wave, Mike, it kind of seems ridiculous if it does work that way. You've got 3 units out. Sure, you know, they're really weak Necronomicon units, but as it levels up on a creep wave, I'm keen on seeing this. It's funny. It's funny just seeing Necronomicon creeps back, Mike, and you not being happy about it. It makes me happy. For some reason. No.
I don't know why you said for some reason. You know exactly why I don't like it.
But imagine that with Book of the Dead.
Palos?
Can you imagine?
Palos in big trouble here. John charges out the Q. Palos is as good as gold. 23 Savage setting up a very nice pickoff. And it's kind of my thing, John. Either you choose Underlord, or you wait 60 minutes into the game and hope you get Book of the Dead, which even that item's kind of gone, considering you're 60 minutes into the game.
Great, I love it. They found a way to bring it back and make it kind of useless. I'm happy.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The aggression lining up now from Aurora off the back of these item timings. Again, this is what I like to see with Weaver players. Savage, even with just the Falcon Blade, who's already rotating around, with the Falcon Blade plus the Javelin and the Gloves of Haste, he knows he's got good damage to pump in. So just joins his team, gets a chase down, gets a couple of kills, goes back to farming, still giving a lot of space out to Lorinov to be the more passive farmer in the jungle, just waiting for the Elder Dragon form before committing. Objectives aren't quite falling apart yet. Tier 1 top is barely holding on and mid is half HP, so a little bit more shove from Aurora should open that up. For the side of TNC, again, it's a matter of waiting for Cox to get like an Infernal Shroud to actually tank in front, and for Cuckoo to find that blink timing. Yeah, that's the key parts for this lineup on TNC, while buying Palos space to farm. They'll go for a smoke play out now. They do have the kisses ready if they can land a lasso on someone.
Oh, well, they're gone. Top lane is where they'll head. Palos, he doesn't actually have Song available to try and set up for his team if he wanted to, so that's a bit unfortunate. Moving on to Jabs. Jabs will get the good amount of Song, but they've got the lasso already to lock him down, so he's a tanky boy, but eventually Jabs will drop. They have dropped the egg for this. They are going to try and... They won't even try for the egg because they're just way too far away. Instead, they'll look towards Savage with the Song set up now of Palos. This could be a very awkward team fight. They'll get the Pulverize onto the Weaver. Sunray's going to keep him alive for a little bit longer as 23 Savage will get the time-lapse away. He is still alive. They really want that Naga Siren. Palos is trouble, but no, it's Savage who stuck around a little bit too long. Lorinov to go down to boot by the looks of it, though Lorinov still trying to get away. Fennell has made it.
Ooh.
They'll take down Cuckoo. Cuckoo running in for a blood grenade. Here comes Jabs. Right onto the sniper. Will eventually take down Yoe. I suppose at least Palos gets him.
Yeah, he does bail out. 2 for 1. Losing Savage is pretty big, to be fair. So it's a little bit rougher losing your Weaver up front. It would take a lot more effort. Had the one charges to get the time lapse off. You can see the ridiculousness of this Phoenix aspect, facet with Sunray, that increased healing and damage at the tail end, just keeping Sav alive for even that much longer, and really putting a big dent onto Cox, because kind of mitigate that chase down potential that TNC did have. Still for TNC, and killing off the Weaver is pretty big. Again, high net worth hero does allow a little bit of rebalance in terms of farm distribution here. Does allow a little bit more play for Palos, Yoe, and Cox, considering that the farm distribution between 23 Jabs, Yoe, and Cox now is very even. But there's not any major item advantage you do have now for Savage to kind of leverage. He does have his full Maelstrom, but nothing beyond that. And that does keep the game manageable for TNC at a 2k deficit. We're still waiting for like this blink timing, which Cuckoo's getting some space out now. He's got room up top, 800 gold away. And the Eternal Shroud for Cox, it's still a ways off, but again, once you hit these item timings, the game becomes simpler for TNC. At the moment, though, it does feel like you are tied into almost playing around Song of the Siren to bail yourself out. And Palos did have it leveled up in that last engage for positioning, so it does allow some ease in taking these fights, but options down now, and Aurora are smoked up here.
They certainly are. They might find Cuckoo or the Bat Rider. Savage, at the very least, is going to take the creeps away from Cuckoo, so all that hard work is basically for naught. There's still only a 1k advantage. It's a very close game between these two teams.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now, Palos still well and truly top of the net worth board at the moment with the Naga Siren, and only looks to escalate even more as he will have the Orchid very, very soon on the Naga. Q's going to find Palos eventually, but obviously can't really deal with him on his own. The bottom tier 2 tower they'll go. Jabs is going to be around, however, and we'll just continue to defend that tier 2, so there's no real chance of that dropping. It seems like Palos is just going to stick around this southern side of the map though and just keep the farm up.
Radiant are scanning.
Meanwhile, again, both sides are more than happy to just sit back and play the farm game for now. 18 minutes in, 7-6. Still no F10k occurring either here, Jonathan, sadly, for the betting crowd out there.
Why do you have to call that one out? Wait for 14 minutes once. 14 minutes with no F10k. That's when it's notable. Alright? I mean, to be fair,
it's a new patch. What are these teams doing?
To be fair, it's Aurora. When they were on talent, I remember a first blood game at 22 minutes. Yeah. Do you remember that?
So do I,
They've changed all but one player. It's you know, it can end up that way again with Aurora. TNC, you can't fault them for the game going slow. They do have to build up. They're not quite ready again on their chorus. You're having to go back to 4 staff on Yoe, probably going to Hurricane Pike so it doesn't eat up an item slot just to have some save, especially from the charge down the line. It does feel good for Palos to kind of just eat up all the space as a Naga can. Going for the Heart next now that the Orchid's done. Can be very durable up front. You do have percent-based HP burn though, with a Sunray, and again amplified with that hot spot. There's some good play here, some good solutions to burn through the Naga yet. It's just a matter of how far does Aurora want to take this game slowly. Because TNC with their lineup more than willing to just take the slow game out. You have a quick disconnect, as is classic in C, while a smoke breaks out from TNC.
Did you see the Necromonicon units when they spawned? Did you see how much damage they had, John?
Oh, so much. 20 damage.
20 damage
on the warrior. 30 damage on the archer. What do you mean?
Incredible, huh?
What do you mean?
I'm so glad they added the units back to the game. So great. I'm just going to pick Underlord now and Fiends get to the tier 1 towers all the time, John. That's all I'm going to do.
That is legitimately the idea behind it, I think. It's forcing Underlord
so I can
players
throw the game and protest how bad the hero is, John. Is what I was meant to say after that initial sentence, because it's an absolute garbage check.
It's 20-second duration Fiend's Gate. You go across, maybe, you know, channeling takes, however, 3.5 seconds here. You have Like 16 seconds of spawning
Radiant's
units.
bottom tower
That's
is
8
under
sets of
attack.
creep smite that you can spawn.
Yeah, but the creeps don't do
In a
anything.
siege.
That's my problem.
It forces you to use it into like a tower fight. I think that's the idea. Here.
Carlos. Nice charge up from you. They've got the Fiend's Gate coming in as well. Carlos, he is as good as gone. Look at those units, John.
Look at him farm! Look at him
Look
farm!
at him farm.
Go!
Oh my goodness.
Jabs! Stick to the gate jabs! No, it's just 4. Oh,
Wow,
look
wow.
how quick he farms.
This
Holy.
is value. This is value right here. I'm so glad they added these boys back into the game.
Dire's
high-end
middle
stuff,
tower
Mike.
is under attack.
Stop your yapping. You don't need books. You just need a gate to let the dogs. You know what I love as well? You're yapping on about uncontrollable. Lycan wolves literally are just a cosmetic hanging around him.
Yes.
You choose that passive, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious how much HP he has with his shard. Absolutely funny. Not fun to play against, but it's hilarious. Just seeing how much you can get. Oh god, I love it. They've done some. They've cooked up a lot of stuff in this game. Ah, stop. You eat rocks. That's what your hero does. He eats rocks and rolls on the floor. He's like a stone Cerberus or something. What can you do with that concept? They already have a rock here as well. That's the worst part. Tiny was there.
Yeah, but he's
What can you do with the other rock? Yeah, he is. Especially with craggy exterior again.
Oh, I was so
Just
happy
play
to
the
have
other
that.
rock. Just play the other rock. You don't need Spirit Spirit. Tiny has a rolling emotion, a rolling taunt. You could express yourself there.
Much more useful. Well, in Aurora, it's still
Radiant's top
8
tower
to 6
is
now.
under
4K
attack.
advantage Aurora's way. TNC again, more than happy to take their time. Problem is, Loranov has overtaken the net worth department now, and of course, Savage is right behind Palos, so not too far at all. Yeah, I'm not really feeling afraid at all by Yoa's sniper, by the way. It just feels like when you're playing against a Spirit Breaker and a Blink DK, it's like, as soon as the charge is out, you have a Fiend's Gate right behind the sniper. He's just dead.
Yeah, it's a non-factor. Right now, the output of Yoa isn't that great as well. Does have decent frontline for himself, at the very least, with the Crown Beast, and I suppose Cuckoo would Blink. So there is some potential there. We just haven't seen all of this lineup just yet for TNC. Perhaps now. Cuckoo does have smokes. So they can look for a play with his Blink reveal if they find the opportunity to do so. It just feels like playing into what you have in Aurora right now is kind of nightmarish. They've got the Gleipnir already up on Savage, and Loranov has the full Sanch and Yasha.
Radiant's top
With
tower
a stat
is under
resist,
attack.
had the Mage Slayer earlier on. Jabs has all the auras in the world, going for the Guardian Greaves next. They're lining up for Roche. This is a fight that you could try to force out in TNC if Palos was around with Song, but it's not a very safe bet. Roche will fall towards Aurora. They'll have the secondary light
Radiant's
ready.
top tower is under
They
attack.
should be ready to line up for tier 1 and tier 2 perhaps same spot.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I'm certainly going to go
Radiant's
Aurora's
middle
Maiden
tower
3.
is under
No
attack.
problem
Your
whatsoever.
shrine has fallen to the Radiant.
It is going to be TNC the ones that need to make some kind of move happen. But it seems like they're probably going to be sitting back for a little bit and just hoping for a good opportunity to defend.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now, of course, Aurora will go right through the bottom lane. That'll be the T1 tower going down for
Dire's
free.
bottom tower has fallen.
Savage continuing back in the mid lane though. Not going to stick around for the T2 bottom tower, but rather we'll go back to the creep wave and the defense on the
Dire's
T1
bottom
mid.
tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And now you've got the shards
Dire's
coming out as
bottom
well
tower is under attack.
for the Weaver now. So you've got that Sakuchi buff to come out, and it just feels like time, it's just getting worse and worse here for the TNC Predator. Time is ticking.
Radiant's top tower
That
is
it
under
is.
attack.
Again,
Dire's bottom tower
it's hard to
is
say
under
that their
attack.
high ground is really strong as well. I mean, they have a Song to try to set up, I guess, for a lasso back or kisses. It's just not as straightforward as Aurora's run and gun with how durable their three frontliners are in the DK, Spirit Breaker, and the Underlord.
Oh, they're trying. Smoke is broken here by Jabs though. He's still going to rush in after Q, but Q's just going to pop the Shadow Blade and run. Meanwhile, 23 Savage, he's been caught by a lasso here, but he has the time-lapse away, and will be just fine as now the Dark Rift jabs. He's going to jump in, catching nobody quite yet. In comes Laurenov though, he's onto the Bat Rider. Cuckoo in a spot of danger. Who are they actually aiming? They'll finally go after Jing here, so the Snapfire is down. In comes Q with the charge out onto Cox. They have caught the Primal Beast, but do they actually have the lockdown for it? You'll have onslaught in 3 seconds. Cox will go for a walk away with the trample. Q, he'll pop the Shadow Blade and just chase him down. Cox will try for a TP play out, but they've got the charge. They've got the charge off cooldown. That's 2 for the price of nothing here for the side of Aurora.
Yeah, it's a rough go for TNC. Smoke being broken on the right flank there with jabs. And just fragmenting that fight, not the way they'd wanted to. They feel like they can commit on Savage with the time lapse, quite so. Didn't quite have the positioning for Cox to go for the pulverize as well. Like chain control needed to be perfect from TNC. And that provides Aurora with the opening now to siege onto the tier 2's mid already starting to get poked. Dragon form does fade, so it's going to take a little bit more time. But overall, 10-6. There's your FNK. You guys in chat all very happy. It only took 26 minutes, but you can rest easy now. Hey, it could have been 42. You know, could have been 42 minutes, guys. Big positive.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tough times here for the side of TNC Predator. I mean, they've got Palos, who's been farming very well. It just doesn't matter. You know, again, it just... I'm not really sure about this Naga Siren pick in the first place, if I'm quite frank with you, John. It just feels like it hasn't really done too much with all the net worth that has been given. Speaking of the devil, Q is chasing Palos down at the moment. We'll eventually find the real one, and there's your charge out with the Fiend's Grip to follow, rather than the Fiend's Gate to follow. Here comes Lauren off the boot. Nothing Palos can do. A beautiful setup here from Q. Go head right back through the Fiend's Gate.
Dire's
There's Necronomicon creep pushing down bot as well. Oh, the value for jabs.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They do take the mid. Can start sieging onto the high ground. H is still up for a minute and a half.
So yeah,
It's amazing, isn't it?
Wow. The units are, my god.
Oh, it's beautiful, Mike. It's perfection. Ice Frog's finest creation.
This is what we waited this long for this, huh? It's
Dire's bottom tower
I love how
is under
depressed
attack.
you are that Necronomicon's tied into this game.
I'm convinced Ice Rock just listens to our cast for like a minute to hear where we complain about something. He's just like, oh,
Dire's
that's what I'm gonna nerf the crap out of that next. Screw
Hey,
that.
you buffed line. You buffed line, you know? He approves of my opinion. Give him more buffs.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I've got to admit, I was quite jealous when I saw the line buffs. Cute. Not gonna get caught out. He'll be alright.
Fist of Death is so sick. I hope someone picks it up.
Literally pimp slapping people now.
Oh, it's so good. The animations, basically his ranged attack animation, but no projectile flies out, so he's poking people. It's so funny. Like, he's literally poking. I love it. It's the best. I'm so happy. This patch with the Witch Doctor stuff and the line stuff, it's just hilarious. I love it. Thank you, Ice Frog. Finest creations. And then this Underlord thing, oh, beautiful. Perfection, the best. And Earth Spirit as well?
Oh, shut up. Let's add a boulder to the end of his roll so you can't even kick people back anymore. What a great idea that was.
Good stuff, Mike.
Tell me nobody at Valve plays Earth Spirit without telling me, John. You know, that's how I know. I know nobody plays the game. Boss Kurt, excuse me, sir. To get his way out. We'll show on the creep wave though, sadly, so Cuckoo might just have to die. We'll have Cox around to try and help out, but it won't matter. Cox will just get himself out.
Yeah, there's no help in that. Again, they need so much more farm on the side of TNC. Like, Cox has been starved out. And Yo has been somewhat starved out as well. And you could say the same thing about Jabs, but he's an Underlord. He doesn't need farm when he has Necronomicon for free. So he doesn't need much. He's got auras. That's it. Already sieging onto the high ground with DK Dragon Form, of course. So much damage coming onto these objectives with Corrosive Breath. Does not take too long at all with a minus armor. These objectives just absolutely melt. You don't even need the Necronomicon swing.
Kind of ridiculous.
Tell me.
Charge out, Palos. A very awkward position. That's a long TP, Palos. Oh, he's alright. He's alright. Palos definitely clenched his butt cheeks there. There's no doubt about that.
Missed of it. You know what I need to see now from Jabs? I need to see the Ags come out. And that's what makes this fun. A 70-second cooldown. It gives the Pit of Malice on Fiend's Gate. So, you know, you spawn the Necronomicons and they get trapped, Mike.
Wow.
It's amazing.
The cooldown reduction is the big one, right? Like, just
yeah.
20 seconds less for your
8
Midas.
Necronomicon creeps every 70. Oh.
That's crazy. That is unbelievable.
That's the good stuff, Mike.
They might make that a talent at some point, I think. Like, talent to have the original units available.
Necronomicon unit strength. Imagine at the rate they spawn, though. It is a lot of spawns, you have to admit. The spawn rate is pretty high. At full strength, I would take that. Like, half the spawn rate to 4 seconds? Yeah, probably. That's still pretty strong.
I never said that. Let's take it easy with those numbers, John.
6 second spawn rate?
Oh, uphill miss from 23 Savage. Still gets the courier anyway, doesn't matter. Ox, be able to uproar Dispel and just run away.
We have a good line of vision from Aurora to just control this area of the map. 3 wards cutting right across that bot area. Not very safe. TNT are out with a really nice smoke around though. To catch anyone would be big, but all of them are slippery. Like Q is pretty hard to chase down. Scan's already out as well on Dire side, finding nothing in the triangle. Could use this as a warding run, but I don't know if they can even utilize that all too well. They have the amp damage rune for Yo at the least, but the action's all very far away. Aurora, again, just setting up for next Roche, respawn in half a minute. TNT has to be quick onto that area, but they've kind of given up that position. Again, there's some good wards watching. They are coming down there as well once the smoke breaks out. So Aurora just set for a nice free Roshan, no contest. It's getting scary how big Lorinov is. Above Palos in net worth, that's with the illusion spam of Palos. He's Satanic's not too far off. And this DK is so hard to deal with. The one thing I wish they did with DK in this patch, since he has such unique dragon forms now, very distinct from each other with the facets, I feel like the Ag should have done something else. You know, like, let the Ags do a little bit more. Do have the Ags for Jabs, called it. Oh, 70-second cooldown Necronomicon spawn.
Holy. That's incredible. Jab's gonna be having a great time. Roshan started. I mean, he might have to use it very, very soon. Or maybe not, because Roshan's just gone. They might still force the fight here, TNC. They're gonna see 23 Savage for a second. 23 is going to be able to escape and be just fine for now. They'll make the jump in onto Cox, and there's your Fiend's Gate coming in, catching out the sniper. Yoe, he's going to have to run, but he's been trapped again. Yoe, he'll be able to pounce away as they pop the song on Palos. And that'll allow practically everyone to get out. Everyone just TPing away immediately after that song was committed. But now, I mean, if you're Aurora, I mean, you're looking to high ground now, surely.
You've got the opening, you know, Song's down for quite some time, 2 minutes without the bailout here for TNC. So there's not much holding them back here on Aurora. Alright, I will admit one thing about the Necronomicon creeps, Mike. The fact that they fade with the gate is kind of sad. If they made it linger for like 20 more seconds on top, I think that's fine. They're uncontrollable anyway. And make them linger for like 20 more seconds. And then it's like, okay. Still though, the Ags is sick. I love seeing this. Like, I swear, that pit is so unpredictable. Just because it's global. It's basically a global AoE route, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's broken. But the Axon is actually
the Necronomicon creeps.
Speaking of the other lot, he's going to get the shards upgrade as well. Not that he really needs it, but why the hell not? I mean, if you're Aurora now, I mean, you're basically just holding on to this, to the map, really, right? Like, the only person who's able to farm the map at the moment is Palos. Everybody else in TNC are just kind of stuck on their high ground at the moment. And Palos again. I mean, the impact of the Naga Siren just hasn't really been there.
No.
Like, the most impact Palos has had so far is literally using Song to get away.
Pretty much it. And that's the issue. There's no real big playmaking on TNC. I say that. I mean, they've got Blink Lasso, they've got Pulverize. It just doesn't feel like they've been able to find targets, and their item times were thrown off. Like, Cuckoo's Blink wasn't that late, but it was at that point where Aurora were already
Radiant
in control
scanning.
of majority of the map, so it's hard for them to play. You can slowly begin with the high ground siege. I say slowly, again, corrosive breath minus
So
armor
much damage.
simplifies this process. It's so fast.
Oh my god! Oh!
Jesus.
Alright, that was pretty fast too. John Cuckoo's gone. Charges out from Q, connecting on 2 with the stun. They're just going for the T3 tower. Just look at how fast Lornov takes that tower out. They'll glyph it up eventually. There goes Ollie. Ollie will finally die. They'll get the T3 tower, no problem, but it's now Palos who'll get stunned up here by Lorinov. Q's gonna jump in a boot. Palos is dry. Oh boy.
No.
Q's gonna disconnect. Cuckoo's the one who paused the get. No, Cuckoo bought back. Ollie bought back. Jabs is saying he can't click. Well, what can't you click, Jabs? What's he can't click?
It's a Necronomicon
Mistakes
unit.
is the path to wisdom. That was unreal.
Let's see if this reconnect fixes it. Timing's a little bit awkward. Could give pilots just enough time to maybe pop Song if they don't manage to chain stun. Let's see. Do they have anything? Yeah, they do have Nether Strike ready, so they have a way of still keeping Palos in.
I mean, somewhat. He could just pop Song and run. Unless Q BKBs. Which he also could do, but he won't have the damage on his own. Well, he'll do it. Palos will pop the Song. Now the strike, he's waiting it out, he decides better off. And in fact, they're going to go for the... Oh, the lasso. Cuckoo, no! He went on to Q with the lasso, but he forgot about the bulldoze. Cox is gone, so is Cuckoo. That's a problematic mistake, as Yoe now in trouble. Lorinov, I mean, he's in danger, but not that much danger, I don't think. John, as Lorinov eventually just going to be able to walk out of there. And the saddest thing about that lasso was that the Song was still going. So your only lasso opportunity was Q. And you never want to lasso the Spirit Breaker because he's got 70% status resist with Bulldoze. You know, it's not a great idea.
That's who he is. And Yo gives the tip out to Bosku as well. Rather unfortunate set of events there beside TNC. 15-8, 18k lead for Aurora. And they're set to go again. Dragon forms back up. Guess what? Minus armor onto objectives. Seems good.
That's a lot of damage.
Oh, here comes Jabs with the army.
Here comes Jabs. He'll get onto the T4 towers.
Look at the
It's
army.
only him and the boys, but he's just going to go right back through. I'll see you later, guys. Here comes Savage. What's Savage doing? He'll time-lapse away. He'll be alright.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Well, what is Jabs even trying to do with those Dark
Cutting them off.
Usage?
Preventing the defense. Free take onto the racks. Very fast take. This corrosive breath is just insane. The minus armor on buildings, it's just nutty. It's a lot. And the fact you don't need Ags now because it doesn't do anything too crazy, not like before, is kind of interesting.
If you mouse over onto that thought, Lasso is going to connect here onto that Underlord. Jab's in a bit of danger, though he's still alive, slowly going down. Won't be able to go down eventually. Is now Yoe in trouble. The sniper Yoe going to try and Shadow Blade away, but cannot make it. Q, he will land the bash, securing the kill. Onto Cox they go. Cox will charge right through Q, but it won't matter because Lorinov will catch him. Cox is gone, I think. Palos will try to run, but the Fiend's Gate will come in, catching out Bosku again. And this is about that point where you're caught. 3 down without buyback here for TNC. The game is well and truly over.
Should be. The creep wave is pretty far behind though, so there is time for the respawns. Just a little bit more. And the Chronomicons unfortunately don't drop back door. So we're stuck. Which is weird.
What a shame.
Imagine if it did though. Your Underlord, that same play at TI that RNG did, could have ended differently.
T4 towers, I mean, they're going quick. Jing in the meantime trying to cut off a creep wave. Needs to bounce his way out of the base though, as they have lost both T4s.
has fallen.
Ancient exposed. Palos, he's gonna pop the sock, but Laurenov ignores
Go,
it.
Laurenov,
Pops
go!
the AKB. That's so much damage, man. I mean, the cave load. There's no defense to come. I'm not even gonna try to hype this up, John. They're ignoring everything.
Oh, Dragonite. You can see